We're going to do an SEIR, or susceptible, exposed, infected, and removed, which could be immune or worse, and we're going to use the VenSim software. You can download that by Googling VenSim and PLE for Personal Learning Edition, which is free to use. Once you get it installed, it will look something like this, and I'm going to use my garbage can to get rid of that susceptible. And there are several things here. We move things with this. There's certain sorts of variables we put with this. This is our connector. These are the rate variables that connect our state variables or level variables like our populations. And we'll see what that means in a minute. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create the level variable called susceptible. And then we're going to create another one called exposed. And then we're going to do infected. And then removed. This is kind of a standard model in the big bad thing we have going on right now with the coronavirus. There would be symptomatic and asymptomatic, although some people don't like using the asymptomatic term. We're going to take our rate arrow here. We're going to go once on the outside and once on the inside, and we'll call this exposure. We'll call this birth, I'm sorry. And then we're going to click once our rate arrow again. We're going to click once susceptible to exposed, and we'll call this exposure. And from exposed to infected, we'll call this catch. And then infected to removed. And we'll call this immunity. And I misspelled it, so I'm going to garbage can that sucker. All right. And we don't really need the remove, but we're going to put it there anyway. So we're going to now create some other variables here, which is a birth rate. This is going to be effectively 0 for the purpose of our sorry, we'll call this an exposure rate. You'll see different terms here, but without getting into the literature. And we'll do a recovery rate. All right, so I'm going to grab my hand here and lengthen the susceptible and exposed boxes so I can do some return arrows, and that will get us going. So we're going to now connect these. We have a birth rate that goes into birth. We have an exposure rate that goes into exposure. We have a recovery rate that goes into this, and we need one more, which is our catch rate. Okay, and that's going to go into our catch. All right, but we need a couple of other things here. We would take susceptibles back into births, so we click once outside and once inside. We take susceptibles into exposure. We take infected into exposure because they have contact rates with that, and we take exposed into a catch rate. And that's a little confused here, so I'm going to see if I can drag that down to the bottom. All right, and so now I'm going to grab my hand and move a few things around here, and this is our basic model. Again, I'm going to move my catch rate down here. All right, and then so this somewhat completes our model. We haven't parameterized it yet, but this is the basics of an SEIR model. You have those being birthed or recruited. This could be immigration, students returning home, that sort of stuff. But and then we're going to add one more arrow here where our exposed go back into our susceptibles. Just going to call that return. All right, and so we're going to want to connect our catch rate back to our return rate, and then our exposed back here, because some of them are going to go on to be infected and some of them are going to go back to being susceptible.